Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know when people first get into Bitcoin, it feels like you're too late. You missed the train. Bitcoin today is at $100,000, and people are like, well, what's the point? I'll never be able to get a whole Bitcoin. One Bitcoin, again, $105,000. But I feel like you shouldn't necessarily think that way and look at it that way because you can save $10 a week, $20 a week in Bitcoin and just grow your savings over time because as Bitcoin's value increases, so does any amount of wealth that you own in Bitcoin also increases. So don't think of it as I need to own a whole Bitcoin because a whole Bitcoin is going to $1 million, $5 million, $20 million per coin over the next 20 to 30 years. And it's numbers that sound crazy, but obviously we all know if we look at Bitcoin's history, historically over the last decade, it's returned over 50% compound annual growth. So in order for Bitcoin today to hit $1 million per coin, it would need to do literally half that. It would need to do roughly 25 to 26% per year for the next decade for it to be $1 million for one whole Bitcoin. But this video is basically about how you don't need a whole Bitcoin to grow your purchasing power, to grow your wealth. And I just wanted to show you, run you some random numbers that I was thinking about using a compound annual growth calculator. Let's say you started in 1 year, you were able to save $2,000 worth of Bitcoin, and you wanted to see what would that be worth in what 10 years or 15 years for it to get to $100,000. $2,000 starting, $100,000 after 15 years, that's 29% return. And now to put that in perspective, our banks and our savings account are giving us roughly 3.5%. The government's probably inflating the currency, legal currency dilution at about 10 to 12% per year. So even if you say conservatively, oh man, I only have $2,000, that won't be worth anything. Look what it could be worth in 15 years, you know? So I think just think about what number that you want to hit and uh put in those goals and the number of years, and let's just do some math. Let's say Bitcoin does 25% per year, and we do 10 years, and the initial value was, let's say, $5,000. That's $46,000 after 10 years. And this is again, is if you don't add any additional money to your savings. This is if you just were able to set aside $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and you just left it there for the next 10 years, you know, and this is a 25% compound annual growth rate. Let's say it was 30%, $68,000. And let's say it was 40%, $144,000. So you can see, regardless of how much Bitcoin you have or how much Bitcoin you save, the purchasing power of your Bitcoin will continue to grow as time goes by, as more people find Bitcoin, more countries find Bitcoin, more governments find Bitcoin, and they find value in storing their wealth in Bitcoin. You know, so if people want to save in Bitcoin, that makes your savings worth more after you've earned it, which is amazing. So just to think about this, you set aside $5,000 and in 10 years is worth 40, 50, $60,000, you know? So again, think about the purchasing power of your money and just focus on providing value and saving as much as you can because now you know you're saving in a currency that's going to buy you more things, not less. So it's cool to put in these numbers in a calculator, in a compound annual growth calculator, and see you don't need a whole Bitcoin to succeed. You know, so what if you let's play with some numbers again. What if Bitcoin's CAGR is 30% and you set aside for 20 years, you set aside $5,000 and 20 years is worth $950,000. Now let's just double check this math here. What did I do? 20 years, $5,000. So let's see, starting value 5,000, ending value 950, 950, and let's do 20 years. So look at that. $5,000 goes to not is worth $950,000 over 20 years at a compound annual growth rate of 30%. And again, Bitcoin has doubled that. But let's just stay conservative and say you were able to save $5,000 and you never touched the savings again. You never added anything else to that savings. And you can see how your money compounds and grows over the course of 20 years. And compound annual growth, obviously, is the eighth wonder of the world. So good money is supposed to buy you more things, not less. And remember, you don't need a whole Bitcoin to succeed. All you got to do is start small, like I always say on this channel, whether it's $10 a week, $20 a week, $200 a week. That savings will buy you more things for your family, not less. So, with that said, I hope you found some good stuff in this video. Definitely like and subscribe. If anything in this video was helpful, I hope it was. And keep asking questions, keep stacking sats, and I'll catch you on the next one.